What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 130, and the final episode before all of us and all of you will have our next-gen consoles, both of them, this week.
Yeah, baby.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Pumped. So it's going to be a fun conversation today. We again, like we said last week, we were talking about having certain guests on. We reached out to a few people. A lot of people busy this weekend. I think a lot of people are actually getting kind of prepared. You know, our type of people are using this weekend to get all the chores and family stuff done because
100%.
Yeah, a couple days from now we're all going to be focused elsewhere. So instead, you've got Dan and you've got myself and we've got chat in the house, who obviously we will include heavily. What is up, everyone? Dan, how you doing, man?
Good, man. I got my my entertainment center cleared off. Like I said on Mike's show, we have a nice 6x6
foot
space for my PlayStation 5. I was gonna, I thought about wall mounting it, but I was like, man, I just don't even want to bother.
Well, you went to Home Depot and they're like, dude, we don't have commercial mounts that strong.
Yeah, you're going to need to add like 15 studs. You're going to have to rip out your drywall. I was like, it's not even worth it. So it's heavier than my, 65-inch screen, QLED. So no, I wasn't going to bother. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm ready to go. I got everything ready to go. Wires all ready to go. I'm ready, man. I'm tired of this waiting crap.
It's hard to believe it's here.
Yeah.
I know we have been waiting forever, but it's hard to believe after all the talk. I know we were talking about this. God damn it, Hassan. It always catches me off guard. I should be prepared for it by now, but
you should be.
But it's hard to believe. I know I said this the other week, but I mean, we started talking about these systems almost 2 years ago. It was February of last year when we started kind of really talking about there being two Xboxes and the potential for what they are. And it's nuts to think it's finally here. And I know the Xbox team has been posting about feeling the same way, right? It's like this has been a multi-year, massive, massive undertaking. And it's crazy to believe that millions of people are going to be playing this week.
Yep. So I'm ready to just dive in, get off of social media for a few days, and just not even worry about what everybody else is saying because it's going to be a disaster. You would think people would be super excited for it, but they're just going to be comparing stuff, and it's going to be annoying. So I'm just going to leave, and then eventually I'll come back and be like, "Hey, this is awesome. See you guys." Yeah. It's just not even worth the time. I'll show up and retweet some stuff for Bitcast and for Season Gaming, and then I'll jump off.
Yeah, I think
I got too much time, man.
Well, I was gonna say, I think a bunch of us are kind of do something similar where we're kind of in a party chat, just playing our own games. You know what I mean? But just celebrating kind of with the people that we game with typically, and letting all the nonsense go by the wayside, which is best thing.
You have to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have to. I mean, it's we've got so many good games coming, within the next month or two. It's and we're going to see these on these new gen, this new gen hardware, which I still I'm cautiously optimistic about. We haven't seen like this one title, maybe Demon's Souls and maybe some of the new Gear stuff, that look like, whoa, man, they really did that. Even as much as I love Spider-Man, it's still, once I see it on my TV, it's going to be so much different.
Yes.
We see all these videos and you can watch them, on your TV and stuff, but until you've got that controller in hand and you're playing, it's just not the same.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I can't wait.
We've talked about this before, right? You can't, even when you're watching like Digital Foundry, who, are kind of the standard for showing off how games perform and look and give you details on it. They're fantastic, of course, but still just watching it at home is not the same as playing it natively. It's just not. And so, watching videos on your computer or your phone or anything, it's just once you have it on that huge OLED and HDR and, you know, in native 4K locally, it's going to be a different experience. So
right. It's the equivalent to reviewing a game that you watch somebody stream. It doesn't count.
Let's not get into
not count.
that.
I gave it an 8.5. I watched this guy stream on it. Shut up, man.
I never played it, but I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, based on what I saw, get out of here with that garbage, man. Yeah, I mean, sorry if anybody does that, but you know what? I don't care.
No, you don't
it's
have
not
to apologize. But Hassan, man, thank you as always. You know, I know we joked about Anthem's the running joke. I am excited for 2.0, though. We talked about it last week. I'm pumped for it, so we'll see. But thank you as always, Hassan. Appreciate it, brother. Freaking
Wait a minute. What's coming out first then? Anthem 2.0 or our first news item? Segue.
Oh man, I see Bomber said, damn you and your OLED, my TCL going to be smoking.
It's better than the Hisense.
And Colt's in the house. Colt, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, big segue to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So we've been talking about this one for a while, posted about it yesterday. I think it was the worst kept secret that it was coming, but got officially announced this morning. So we have a spring 2021 release for this. They are just remasters, not kind of full remakes like Demon's Souls or some of the other things we've seen, like Resident Evil 2, right? But they're talking about new textures, models, lighting, better frame rates, resolution, etc., and a host of improvements for all three games. So, and as well, they're going to be optimized as well for Series XS and the PS5, of course. So, I couldn't remember, Dan. I know we've talked about it. Like, I'm a massive Mass Effect fan. That's hard to say. Are you in the same boat? I know you said you're all over this. I can't remember like how much you're into Mass Effect, though.
Oh, it's probably my top. If there's like a trilogy of all time, I mean, it's one of my favorite games. It's top 5 for sure. Between BioShock and then probably Mass Effect, those two games, just the story that it told the whole way through, and you being, more or less being, it was basically you were playing yourself as this person, you got to make all the choices, at that time, what they did and carrying it over from game to game. Yeah. It was something that nobody really did.
Yeah, special.
So it was really, really special. And I love it. And I'm super excited for this Legendary Edition. Again, cautiously optimistic because the first one really is rough. I mean, I tried going back and play it. And
the gameplay is rough.
The gameplay is very, very rough. Yeah. So that's kind of the one thing that worries me a little bit. 2 is still better. I'm not in that sense. I'm saying the gameplay is, a little bit more updated, and 3 is fine. But I'm more worried about that. I'm sure they're going to do a fine job with the textures, resolution, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
great. I just want we've seen it before with stuff like Mafia. You look at Mafia, the definitive edition that just came out, amazing.
Great,
what they did, right?
Yeah, that's great.
But then you look at Mafia 2, and it's hot garbage. Right, it's just it's basically let's throw a new coat of paint on it.
That was a port, yeah.
Yeah, it was basically shined up, and that's what I don't want to see here. But I think that's what we might get. Still, I think the fact that it is Mass Effect kind of trumps, a lot of other things. It's still got the core storyline. That was when BioWare was good. Good.
Yeah. It sounds like let me get the Pampa. Pampa, appreciate it, brother. Oh, there you go. He's already got a question for you, man. So how's that Pulse headset treating you? SG Chat's the best. He's waiting.
Yeah. So literally he sent me a video. Not Mariano, but Hassan did. And he I was like, okay, I'm canceling these. So I canceled my order, and GameStop still charged me for them and are sending them in the mail. They're on the way.
GameStop's got to make sales, brother.
Oh my God, man. They are the worst. The worst. Like originally I ordered them on pre-order because I didn't know if they'd be around, and I figured I'll just try them out. And they're, decent price for what you're getting, I guess. But I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to get the Steel Series. I ordered those, and I canceled the other ones, and they're still coming. So I'm still getting them. they're getting returned immediately. That's what's going to happen.
You got the 7Xs as well, right? Weren't you ordering those?
Yeah, that's what I'm at, the Steel Series 7X.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I got those, and I still have basically the same. They're the Arctis 7s by Steel Series, and they're for PlayStation. They're wireless. They're not the 7P.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're getting technical here, but they're just the 7s, and so those will work wirelessly, and those will work with 3D audio if I need them to. And that's basically what I use them for, because I don't really get online and chat and stuff. I just like having that. I don't have like a sound system. I just have a nice sound bar, but it's just, I like playing with headsets when I play in these big games. So
yeah, cool.
We'll
Thank you, Papa, as always, man. Appreciate it. I'm going to take a quick sip out of my nice Halo Infinite mug here.
Jesus, this is where we're at.
Shout out to Gamer Graham, who's in the chat, for hooking me up with these amazing mugs from Canada, the Canada exclusive.
Oh man, what is happening?
See Sarko in the chat as well. What's up, brother? Sarko's good old friend. We got some crew. Got Mike in the house from NLG after our marathon show on Thursday evening. We're back at it.
That was a good time, man. That was a good time.
Yeah, always a good time with those guys. Yeah. So, super pumped about Mass Effect. What it feels like to me is it feels similar to what we got from 2K with the BioShock collection. Is the way they worded it is we're going to get the best version enhanced that's available. And so what that tells me, right, is, as we said, it's not a full remake, but they just want them to play and feel the best that they've ever been released. So, that feels like what we're going to get, but that's fine. The more exciting news here, I think, is that they did announce a new Mass Effect is in the works. And they specifically commented on that the team that's been formed around it includes a lot of members of the original Mass Effect team, including BioWare members that go all the way back to games like Jade Empire, which is awesome.
Man, yeah, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, they're saying the right things, but
they're still under the EA banner, which worries me a little bit. It's we saw what happened with Andromeda, and it's not saying that it was terrible. It's just they forced them into working with an engine that really wasn't conducive to what the game was. It seemed like it's if they get a little bit more freedom, I have no doubt what BioWare can do. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, between Dragon Age, between Dragon Age and the Mass Effect trilogy alone, of course, Anthem. You can go all the way back to like KOTOR and stuff. Yeah, they've always nailed that RPG, that Western kind of it was so good. Yeah, and then Anthem.
No, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it.
Okay, good.
Graham, thank you as well, man. $5 super chat, a Canadian $5 super chat. So that's, I think, 14 cents. We're all very
$300.
$300. Steel Series Arctis 7X, baby, best headset ever. Yeah, he's super excited about those. And I actually, because I was asking questions, because I actually may buy a headset. I don't typically use one, but it's good now. I stream, from my PC a lot. In situations like that, it could be good to have a headset, with me as well. And when I travel, whenever travel starts happening again, it always sucks playing in like hotel rooms on the TV sound. You know what I mean? It's garbage.
Oh yeah, it is trash.
So I need to get a good headset. I may pick up a set myself. So anyway, man, Mass Effect, I know it ends 7 all day today. So big celebration for, Legendary Edition, the news about a new game in the works. And we'll see what else comes today. I'm sure there's some other surprises in store. I know the Mass Effect store was having some bunch of items and a discount today. So if you're one of those big Mass Effect fans, today's the day. So
nice.
Let's talk PS5, man. A lot of PS5 news this week. A lot. It seems like we got backwards compatibility news. We got reviews on like Miles Morales and a breakdown video of Miles Morales, including the all famous ray tracing. We got more info on the DualSense. We got some bad info on the storage solution. So just a lot to talk about. Let's start with backwards compatibility.
Yep.
So this is kind of a strange one, right? We've been joking about backwards compatibility on the PS5 for a while now. I think most sites are, because even though PlayStation essentially said your PS4 games will work, right? And they tried to clarify that a little bit a few weeks ago. they've just been light on details. They're always light on details. They leave a lot of doors open for speculation. And so, when you leave doors open for speculation, especially when it comes to gaming, a lot of people kind of assume the worst. And, we're guilty of that sometimes too. But the good news here is that according to Digital Foundry and the tests that have been run by multiple outlets now, the backwards compatibility on the PS5 looks to be incredible. Right up there with what we've seen out of the Series X for the most part.
Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be the same, I guess, but it looks great. I'm super pumped for the, for going back, I think with like Ghost of Tsushima, you kind of touched on it earlier this week on my show about like The Last of Us 2. Still haven't heard anything about that yet, but that's what, backwards compatibility for me has always been one of those things where it's like, okay, well, it's nice to have, it's a nicety, right? It's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad that, you're basically validating my purchases for the last, 5 or 6 years or whatever it is, so, and we knew that they were going to have some kind of backwards compatibility. It just seems like it's like you said, it was never really nailed down. Now we're getting more details. Great. This is only good news. Yeah. There's going to be, looks like some that aren't going to work, and we'll talk about the VR thing here in a little bit. That was kind of one of my concerns, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm good with it. I'm gonna be playing Spider-Man, and probably Sackboy, so it won't really matter at first.
So no, I'm excited. It's nice that whether you're on Xbox or PlayStation, if you're kind of really tied into most of your purchases being on either ecosystem, you're going to be able to kind of bring that forward with you properly with enhancements. So it's not as deep as doing the whole thing that Xbox is doing with like auto HDR and variable refresh rate. They said PS5 doesn't support, right? But beyond that, the frame rate improvements, the being able to hold the native resolution instead of dynamic, and all of those other things that have come through look really, really good. And so I know John over at Digital Foundry was very positive about this. So it's great news. I'm excited about it. So now you can play Fall Guys,
That's the most important thing, right? What was that one game that everybody always gave crap to, that Tiger game?
Oh, he had it in his video this morning on the UI. Yeah, John at Digital Foundry was in the UI video we're going to talk about. I forget what it's called.
No PT for you horror people.
Yes.
Going back and forth.
The funny thing is, I actually asked that question on Twitter a few weeks ago. I said, that's the big question, is PT going to be playable on PS5? And apparently, according to the guys who have PS5, it was available. And Konami has since pulled it down. Or told Sony they have to pull it down.
Yeah, Life of Black Tiger. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Life of Black Tiger. There it is. Let me get
as long as Knack and Knack 2 are there.
Bizzle, $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Always a big supporter. Really appreciate it. Light on details.
Anthem?
I didn't read it ahead of time.
That's what we're doing, man. It's still coming.
If we're not careful, Lego Star Wars is going to take over Anthem eventually. We need to be careful here. We're walking on thin ice.
It's hilarious.
And no, I don't have any additional details.
Yeah, he's been slacking on his insider duties.
Oh, man. Thank you, though, Biz. Always appreciate it, man. And Mo, what's up, man? What's up, fan? Wish I could stay calm before the storm. Let's get it. Absolutely, man. I think all of us are just excited at this point. It's a great time to be a gamer. So super, super excited. Thank you so much, Mo. Appreciate it. I think Mo from Backlog Chronicles said they're going to do a special episode this week to post the launch of both consoles. So, to kind of celebrate. So awesome. Where we at? So let's talk. Did you happen to catch the UI video?
I missed, I did not catch the one that just came out, right?
Just came out. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen just a little bit of it here and there, but I haven't seen all the stuff that was NDA'd, I guess, up until today, apparently. So.
Yeah. So, pretty interesting. Nothing revolutionary here, but it's just a very clean and, he really kind of showed going in and out of applications and games. He used Miles Morales as an example, and it's really pretty and well done. And then when you get into the deeper details, when you're looking at like your game library or some of your options for things and how you see whether they're installed or on disk or digital. It's very similar to what we've seen Xbox evolve to as well, from your library perspective, and how you can look at each game. And they confirmed this week you can see playtime counters and all these other features that I've been bitching about.
Yeah, that why can't that's not even, it should just be universal.
Through the OS. Well, that's why I bitch about it. It's like these are simple things. Like, come on.
I mean, you still can't do that on every game on Xbox. It seems like it's always like some of them. I can go in and see like how many hours I have on The Witcher, or Metal Gear Solid 5 300, So but then I can go to like one game and there's like nothing. So you either have to look at like a save where it says, this is how many. Like if I go to like an Assassin's Creed game, it'll show me on my save file, you've got this many hours in it.
Yeah.
But having something like that, just to, and Xbox has it all ready to go. They just have to add it, and they have it for some stuff.
Yeah. So for instance, Legion's not on there. You have to go into Ubisoft Connect to see it, which is dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, that's really nice. Especially, I think I saw Angela. She said, this would be great for like when you do a review, you can kind of know how many hours you've got. It's excellent.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did with Legion when I mentioned how many hours. I went into Ubisoft Connect and took a look. It just makes sense. So anyway, it definitely looks. I've never been a huge proponent of the PS4 UI. I get the simplicity and quickness of getting in and out of things, which is good. But I've never cared for the simplicity from the sense of lacking features. So I do really like what I'm seeing out of the PS5. So excited for that. More DualSense impressions. I just wanted to mention this because the more we hear about the DualSense, the more positive, it seems the feedback is on this, both from a comfort standpoint, but also from feeling, right? From actually playing games like the Astrobot and some other things. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm excited to experiment with this thing. I know Demon Souls is doing some haptic feedback on the way you, depending on your attack and stuff. And it's looking like I'm going to have to concede my very opinionated thoughts on the DualSense of saying that, I still will see on third parties in the future. That's a different topic, but I didn't think it was going to be as well received as it has been. It sounds like it's really kind of a game changer.
Yeah. The only thing, like I said before, that I worry about is battery life, and it looks like it's going to remain around the same, maybe a little bit better, depending on how much it uses. I mean, if you're looking at Astros, we saw some stuff like you get very conflicting reports. You see a guy says, I played Astros Playroom and it lasted 2 hours and my controller died. Like, okay. Then you see another guy come out and say, well, I played Astros Playroom. I played Spider-Man Miles Morales. I played some of this and I've got like 10 hours on it and it hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what the hell is happening? So I'm sure it's going to be somewhere in between. Yeah. Right? It's probably nothing like the Elite 2 where it lasts for 17 days. Charge it. Yeah. And that's fine. And the only other thing I worry about is like, I saw a breakdown. I watched a breakdown video of it and somebody took it apart and it looks very, very complicated.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah. That's what's going to be interesting, I think, over time, right? Yeah. Especially on the triggers and things like that. The moving parts. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. You've always been a guy that's, you turn your vibration off, right? You're not a big fan of that haptic feedback, but you've always been that way.
Normal vibration.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Haptic's a little different, right?
Yeah. The vibration, I guess. Yeah. So, I totally understand that though too, but for me, it's just become kind of second nature, like or where it's just, I don't either notice it or it's just kind of like, oh yeah, my hand vibrated, or something, or when you hit the ground from a big jump and all of a sudden it's like oh, hey, go ahead. But it's never been anything that has swayed me. This looks like it's got the potential to add to, your experience, instead of, in a potentially gimmicky way, but also potentially if they do it right and it's not overdone, it might work out. But like you also need the support from third parties. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be interesting. Proof is in execution. One thing that was funny when I was streaming Valhalla yesterday, we're going to talk about Valhalla here in a little bit, but I was streaming yesterday. I might have been Angela, actually mentioned that on PS5 you can actually blow into the DualSense, and as you're in the game, you can blow your horn and
That's
like rally
awesome.
your troops, but you can blow into the PS5 and blow your horn.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's actually. I never even thought. See, that's the kind of thing where it's like I'll probably never do that, honestly.
No, me neither, but it's cool.
But yeah, I would do it once and then be like, oh, this is kind of awesome, because it'd be more of a thing like my wife came upstairs and saw me blowing into the controller. She'd be like, I gotta divorce this guy, what is
that? It always makes me think, like, stuff like that makes me think. Do you remember with Connect on Skyrim, you could actually do the motion to do the Fus Roda? You could do that, and it would recognize that you were doing the dragon call or whatever it was.
Oh, it was Mariano. He says he was joking around. Come on, man! You got
damn it, Pampa!
No, look at this. Now we're gonna look like fools.
Now we're just another podcast that's talking nonsense. You see what happens?
No more.
The Fus Roda thing's real, though. I can promise you that. So, it's just like, it's not going, that's kind of my point, is those types of features usually aren't used beyond a few kind of gimmicky things. Right. And we'll see. But I do think first party will find a way to integrate these things kind of in interesting ways. So I'm excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah. It's for me, it's gonna be mostly like the triggers and what they can do with those, like the tension on a bow or something like that. That might be cool, but I don't care so much about blowing into stuff, I mean, maybe that's just me.
Damn it.
I don't want to speak for everybody.
Pampa's banned. He's now just a $4 foot long. He's been demoted.
He's a 4-inch round.
Elo says we're #CNow Gaming. We're not far off, to be honest with you.
No, I forgot what I was doing 5 minutes ago, so I was on the
show. So let's talk about the big blue elephant in the room. Storage. So this is an interesting one because it is an issue, but it's only going to be an issue as usual for a smaller percentage of people, right?
Right.
So here's what we know, and here's the facts, and then we can talk about our thoughts on it. So the Sony came out and confirmed that the storage expansion slot that's in the PS5 that you can add a SSD to, as long as it meets the speed requirements, etc., that is not going to be ready at launch. It's not going to be active. It's going to have to come later in a software update where you'll be able to use that. And I have to imagine that they did talk previously around, partnering with third-party and drive makers to have licensed third-party drives that you can put in there. Those aren't ready at launch. So that we kind of already knew. Mark Cerny said it would be after launch previously. The big news here is that a lot of people were assuming, myself included, because on the Series X and S, you can offload the new games with enhancements to external drives, any external drive you want, and then just transfer it back into the internal drive. You cannot do that on PS5, and that was confirmed again by Digital Foundry in their UI video this morning. You literally cannot move a PS5 version of a game to your external drive. Doesn't let you. So what that means is you've got 667 gigabytes of storage space on the PS5, and that is literally it, with no way to get around it. The only thing you can do is uninstall a game and re-download it.
Can you daisy chain PS5s together and just use them for storage?
You have your own LAN party with like 4 PS5s.
I mean, I got like 5 of them come. I'll just have them all. I got to clean more space off though. But yeah, you can just like put them all together. Why do you have 5 PS5s? I just needed the extra storage.
I need extra storage.
Yeah.
You got 5 all digitals.
We knew it was going to happen.
You have the only 5 all digitals they're apparently making.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So I mean, again, if you're someone like me, this doesn't impact me because I'm playing Demon Souls and Sackboy on my PS5 and PS5 games. Now, all my PS4 games you can still run off of your external drives, right? So no problem there. But if you are someone who buys a lot of games, you're a PlayStation primary gamer, right? And you plan on buying Spider-Man and playing the new Call of Duty and Demon Souls and Sackboy and you're that dedicated person who plays on PS5 primarily, in the short term, this could be a problem. Because remember, not everyone we're
I mean,
spoiled, right?
it really comes down to how you're.
Go ahead. Uh-oh.
Easy. No,
Okay.
everything froze on my end.
Yeah, I lost you for a second. Go
like
ahead.
with your mouth open. You were like this. So I know what's going on. Anyway, so what were we talking about?
So I was saying that in the short term, it could be a problem, right? Because even though we're spoiled, right, we have gigabit internet and you can download things pretty quickly, even big games. Still, there's a lot of people out there who have 50 megabit internet, right? And there's a lot of people out there, a big percentage actually, that have data caps. And
that's what I was going to say. Yep.
Yeah, we were even talking to Jordan a few weeks ago, and he was like passing his data cap, and we were talking about, well, I don't want to have to re-download that game because it's 80 gigs or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people, this isn't a great situation to be in. So I hope they figure it out shortly after launch. But as of this moment, launch is going to be this way.
Yeah, it's and then you've got Call of Duty, which is going to take up almost half if people get that. So now I would say normally people that are buying that Call of Duty, as the most of them that are going to be getting that and the PS5 are probably going to be playing. That's what they're getting it for, right? They're just Call of Duty people or Madden, so they should be fine. But like you said, you worry about the people with the data caps. The speeds. It'll eventually happen, but if you have to constantly do it over and over and over again, now, at launch, let's say you've got Valhalla, it's like 45, Spider-Man's probably something around there.
Demon Souls is 60 something.
Right. You're probably looking at 8 games, on there, PS5 games, and you should be fine at first, assuming that you're not, it's either Call of Duty or everything else is at this point. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me so much. I would obviously rather have some kind of option, but I'll have Spider-Man, I'll have Sackboy, and that's it really at first. Maybe Godfall.
There's Godfall too. Yeah. So I was trying to look up so for instance, let's say you have a 100 megabit connection, right? I think most people are there. So if you have a 100 megabit connection, downloading 200 gigs will take over 5 hours. But if you're down, in the so imagine if you have like a 50, you're at 10 hours. So just choosing to reinstall something could be a pain in the ass, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's all about convenience, really.
Yeah,
and that's really what it's going to come down to. And primarily, most players, generally are a 1 or 2 game player. Game player. That's what they do. That's what your biggest percentage of the audience is. It's Madden, it's Call of Duty or Siege or something to that effect. For guys like us, where I'm going to have the games I already mentioned. I'll be good. But eventually I would like to have that same But most of my time is going to be spent on playing on the Xbox, only because assuming that that's where it's going to run the best. And I'm just doing this based off of, and we'll see as it comes out, because we've seen in the past where games run better for some reason on a lower power system, just all in the devs, and how they optimize shit. So, like Ubisoft is a good example. They're garbage at optimizing crap for any console, that's just, they're just not good at it. So I don't understand why that is, but they just are. So it's going to be fine for me, and I'm also probably not going to even come close to filling up my Xbox right off the bat either, though. I've got my SSD. That worry, kind of pisses me off a little bit more, is that I can't just I can't put PS5 games on my SSD and move them over when I need to.
That's what I mean.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think you could do that with the PS4 when it launched either, though.
No,
so maybe it's
a couple years ago.
Right. Maybe that's just a software thing down the road where they can fix that, because it seems like something that you would. A lot of this stuff, I mean, I hate to shit on it, but it just seems like it's not ready for prime time.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's not shitting on it. It's reality.
Yeah.
It feels like I was talking to someone about this the other day. I think some of the guys in chat, but that's exactly what it is. It's you have a hard date. You have to launch the console, and there's aspects of the aspects of the console and all of its features that just aren't ready.
Yeah,
they're behind. So that's what it is.
Yeah, it's whatever. That's fine. If you're working on it, get it ready to go. 6 months from now, I better be able to get some extra storage. Even though I'm probably going to be paying $200 for it. But it's have that option at least. That's the biggest thing, because I don't want to go out and buy a $200 card to shove into my Xbox. That's insane to me. For
especially when you can transfer things back and forth.
Right. You don't have to. That's the biggest thing, right? It's giving you those options, and it's just not there at launch. So that sucks. But whatever. I'll be playing it anyway.
Of course. Yeah. As well, millions of people. Vogel, what's up, man? Marion, good to see you. DT, welcome, sir. He says, what games you getting at launch, actually? We're actually getting into that in just a moment. One other thing I wanted to talk about, VR adapter. Were you able to order yours?
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't get it yet?
No, I did not get it yet. I was super late to the party, because there was the original link that they sent out was like a global link.
Which I didn't get, by the way.
Yeah, it didn't work for nothing. So eventually somebody came out, I think, and I can send you that link if you want to, but it was like a US only link, I think. And so once I got that, actually, Diego, I messaged him too, and I was like, hey, try this one, and it went through like immediately. So I don't know what the whole deal was with that. That sounds like a nightmare, so I don't even understand how this whole thing is going to work. I want to play Squadrons, but will that just work? When am I going to get my dongle? My dongle's
dongle, man. Hashtag
dongle.
Did you hear about Squadron's update on Series X?
Yeah.
4K 120?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me any, because I don't have a 120 TV. 2, I'm going to play it in VR exclusively, because there's no point now playing it anywhere else.
You can't go back.
I can't. I mean, I tried to go, when I did the review for it, I went back and I took the VR headset off and I played a couple hours, and I wanted to punch something. It's crazy how much better it is in VR, even though it's not like, 4K 120 or whatever it is. It's amazing. Now, am I going to try it out on Xbox? Yeah, I'm going to try it out and see what it's like, sure.
Even if you don't own it now, it'll be an EA Play probably by January, February, I would guess.
I would say probably longer than that, but still, when it comes out for that, I'll definitely try it out. Or if I see it on sale for $20, I'll pick it up.
Speaking of that, Jedi Fallen Order confirmed Tuesday as well. If you haven't played that, remember that Tuesday on Xbox. If you're Game Pass Ultimate, which you should be, EA Play is now including Jedi Fallen Order. So if you haven't played that, it's another one that you'll be able to jump into.
And that one's got, it's got the upgrades for the X and stuff like that. Is that coming out on that day as well, or?
I don't know. I know they said it runs at 60 because of the improvement, but I don't know if it actually has a next gen update. The frame rate will be actually halfway stable. Yeah, which it was absolutely not when we got it the first time. Man, that was rough. Yeah. The only other thing Sony mentioned was it was kind of weird. I know we talked about this on Mike's show too. Is they came out this week and said that all PlayStation 5s will be online sales only, regardless of where you're going. Which, as we talked about on Mike's show, but we'll talk about briefly again for this audience, is it's just strange, right? It's very strange for a publisher or manufacturer, I guess, to dictate to major retail stores how they can sell their product. Very strange. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's issues with distribution. I don't know if they're not producing as many as they expected. I don't know, but that's not a thing that would normally happen.
Yeah, that's super weird to me. It's weird to tell Target and Walmart, you're only going to do online. I mean, I guess you're kind of forcing their hand, due to COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And that's fine. That's it's just I've never seen anything like it before, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be weird.
very strange. So anyway, anything else on PS5 we want to touch on while
I'm good, man.
Okay. So let's talk about next gen
Oh,
games.
real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
just posted the link to the dongle in the chat. So if you have a PSVR, go to that website and get your dongle.
There you go. Get your dongle on.
Get your dongle on.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't ordered mine yet, so I'm not. I mean, there's nothing on VR I'm in a rush to play right now, anyway. But I'm sure there's an expiration date that you need to order.
Yeah, you might want to get it ASAP so they don't run out. So.
They'll be like, it'll be right there with your digital edition.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's talk about next gen game lineup. We got some reviews are in actually. So we got to talk about Like a Dragon, but calm your excitement. We'll get to that in a second. Miles Morales, looking like a very good game right now. It's sitting at 85 on OpenCritic, so that's obviously very, very good. Right up there where I think the original Spider-Man was in the 80s as well. I know that Greg Miller came out. He said he already has the platinum for it. He said he actually likes this game better than Spider-Man, the original. So, and obviously Digital Foundry did that really kind of deep dive on, the performance of the game and the variation in the modes, how the ray tracing works. Found it really interesting, but it looks, we've said it many times, Insomniac just crushing it. It looks to be an excellent game, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for it. I haven't. The only one I've watched was the DF one, I think, with the the ray tracing. Again, I don't necessarily care about all that stuff. I really just want to play it for the story because I'm just a Spider-Man fan. But it's good to see it's getting good reviews. I figured it would. Since it's just a kind of a additional, or I'm going to say add-on because then people will get mad at me, but it's an extension of the original game. So
I was pretty impressed with when he was showing the kind of difference between the high res mode or the fidelity mode, I think they call it, versus like PS4 Pro Spider-Man. There's at least on the video there's a sharp difference. So like we talked about earlier, I bet when you load it up in person it's going to be damn impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm pumped for. Do it. Assuming I'm, anywhere close to done with Valhalla, I'm gonna have to jump back and forth a little bit.
Now let's talk about the more important game, which is Yakuza, Like a Dragon. So if you think Spider-Man's good, Yakuza is actually getting rated higher, and it's ready to go. I saw Game Informer gave it a 9 this morning, and so people, in all seriousness, we've joked about this a lot, but regardless of what anyone thinks about the change in direction and character and turn-based. Regardless of all that, it's getting really, really strong reviews, which is cool to see.
Yeah. I'm wondering how many people are actually going to play it. Just saying. I'm just wondering how many people will play it. I won't be one of them at launch, but good for you, Like a Dragon. Good for Ryuga, I can't even say the word, Studios, so fantastic.
So you picking that up Tuesday, right?
No.
Okay.
Not happening.
Okay.
I'm standing on I'm protesting their direction until I get it for free and or half off at least.
Don't believe it.
Half off.
I think you may do it out of stubbornness now, but in general, I still think you're going to end up with it.
I will eventually. Yeah. Eventually I will have it. But like, Elu said, Bug Snacks kind of do. I'd rather play that. 100%.
That's true. Got Bug Snacks. But Astrobot we kind of touched on last week, sounded really good as well, right? And they did confirm, I think someone confirmed that you can uninstall it and re-download it if you want to. So I think it takes up like 4 gigs. So you're on your way to fixing your PS5 hard drive issues right there.
Yeah, huge.
The Falconeer is one I've been looking forward to. I know several of us have on the Xbox side. So that's sitting in the mid 70s right now, typically in ratings. And what I quickly looked into some of them just to see the why. So good game, not amazing. What they're saying is it's beautiful and it actually has a really kind of good story, which is good to hear. But they said that the world can feel kind of empty and the stuff that you do can be kind of repetitive. So take that as you will. Remember, this is a smaller game, right? This isn't a AAA game. And I think, if I recall, it's $29.99.
And it's one dude.
It's one guy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So, but cool to see. I mean, we joke, right? It's like if anything's not over an 8.5, we don't play it. And it feels like there's a lot of people that feel that way nowadays. 7.5 is a good score. I mean, it's a good game. So Legion and Valhalla, both big Ubisoft games we're talking about. They did confirm that both of those next gen updates are on track. In fact, I got an email saying the Legion update will be out Monday prior to launch, and hopefully Valhalla as well. The Medium was delayed to January now. So
smart.
Yeah, this doesn't surprise me even a little bit. Like we joke about, Cyberpunk is a bomb that's about to drop, and everything needs to get away from it.
They literally said it in their press release. They're like, yeah, because some other games are dropping. They weren't talking about Immortals. They were talking about freaking Cyberpunk, man. They know.
Yeah, they know. Well, and it gives them a little more time. Hey, man, I'm all about it. I'm really excited about the Medium. Late January is perfect. I think that's, if I recall correctly, late January is when Resident Evil 7 launched. And it's perfect because there's not a lot of games launching at that time. You get a nice horror experience. Bring it on.
Yep.
Pump. So I know you're all over that one too.
Nope.
What's your odds on bet that Ubisoft delays Immortals?
Let's see. I mean, why wouldn't you at this point, right? Because you just released Legion. Valhalla will be out here in a day or two. And then you're going to follow it up a month later with untested IP launching right against one of the most, if not the most anticipated game in the history of video games. Bad call.
Yeah. I agree.
You just, it'd be the smart thing to do is push it back, for even a month, whatever you want to do, just find a soft spot in the schedule somewhere where, nothing's releasing, and then drop it in. You're not going to be, they don't need to release it then. If they're worried about like getting people into it before Christmas, maybe it's like a holiday thing. It's not going to matter. It's going to get destroyed.
Yeah. Because I'm partially interested in it too, but not during Cyberpunk.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's not faulting that game at all. It's just people's attention are going to be somewhere else. Period. It'd be the smart thing to do by them.
Yeah,
if they don't, that's the most ballsy move I've ever seen. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
We've seen it too many times. Release dates have actually destroyed IPs. I mean, we've seen it happen. It hurt Watch Dogs for a while with Watch Dogs 2. It hurt Dishonored 2, which was critically a Game of the Year contender that didn't sell well. Titanfall 2 is one of the classic ones. It just got overlooked. So I hope they, I hope they make a change. We'll see. Plus, who knows if the game's even fully primetime ready? I don't know. I can tell you that on the Ubisoft press site, they just put up this week for review requests for it. Yeah. So usually that's an indicator that it is coming, but we'll see.
That's rough, man. That's that's the thing. It could be a 9 out of 10. It could be, people could be like just raving over it, but nobody will be playing it. It sucks when that kind of stuff happens, but all right, just go. Yeah. Move on. There's better time. You're in better shape.
The other one that I just want to mention too is Observer Redux Edition. I know it's a smaller game. I know it's not going to get a lot of attention at launch, but remember that it is launching with the Xbox. It's the new, and PS5. It is the new Series X enhanced, PS5 enhanced kind of update for, this is another Bloober game, kind of a psychological thriller in a cyberpunk universe. It's also one of the last roles that Rutger Hauer ever played before he died. He's the main character.
I didn't know he died. Damn.
Yeah, one of the last roles he ever played. He's the main character. So I've heard great things about the game, but I always heard that it ran rough. And so this could be, obviously the way to play it, right? So pumped about that as well. Saw Blind Mephisto in the chat. What's up, man? He said, never played a Bloober Team game. Anyone who has played a lot of the games, any recommendations? So yeah, they have a lot of, it's almost all horror thrillers, but they all have a point to them. If you can play them kind of optimized, Layers of Fear are good games. I mean, I like them all. I really liked Blair Witch from them. And obviously you've got the Medium coming in January as well. But I definitely recommend playing any of their games. Really, Observer, the enhanced one at launch I was just talking about, may be a good option as well. So, So I mean,
don't look over here because Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Team's not at the top of your developer list.
Only because I played some of the Blair Witch only because I can't handle it. So it's just not.
You probably never got to the really good parts near the end.
I 100% didn't. I once you hitting that flashlight, like, come on, man. No,
yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, I should send you a link to watch just like the last half an hour of that game because it's mind blowing. Like it's nuts. Anyway.
Take your time.
So what's your final? We've got Tuesday, Thursday. Hopefully you're switching over to physical for this generation. But what's your final pickups Tuesday and Thursday for both systems?
All right, so I think the Series X, I got that coming. I've got the Shock Blue controller with the charging stand, of course.
Nice
controller gear. What else did I get for the Series X? We'll have a Valhalla on it. I'll have actually that's gonna be the only game really I can think. What else is coming out?
Well, you got Legion. I mean, kind of counts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna probably play that on there though.
Okay.
At least not initially. I finished that game this week.
Got Like a Dragon.
Nope, that ain't happening either. Well, it would have been Cyberpunk, but that ain't happening. That would have been a week out anyway. Really, that's it for the Series X.
Okay.
For the
you gonna try Gears Tactics?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably try that out, and see if I can get into it a little bit more. Hopefully, it's supposed to look really good. And what I'm going to do basically is go and check out a lot of the older games, right, and see how they look and how they run.
Yeah,
that's going to be, one of the first things I do probably. Because you kind of want to, it maybe be 20 minutes on Gears, just to run through a level, or something to that effect. I want to see what Sea of Thieves looks like.
Oh yeah.
That's another one. That one's got me a little bit more excited. Maybe I can jump back in. But there's a few like that. But for the most part, I'm going to probably at least initially be playing some of the newer stuff.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Okay.
For this next gen. The PS5, I've already got the charging stand and the controller. Apparently, I have the stupid headset coming because GameStop sent it to me anyway. I'm going to take that back. We talked about the Steel series. I got that coming for the headset coming for the Xbox One too.
Yeah.
Then I'll have Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I'll have and Sackboy. I think are the two that I'm going to be on immediately on the PS5.
Snacks.
That's going to be on the DL because I know people will make fun of me because they can't handle the snacks. So that's fine. I'm going to be playing the hell out of that. It's free. Did I mention that? Yeah. So I'll be playing some of that. And then that's pretty much it. And then I'll do the same thing with like Gears and Sea of Thieves. I'll go back and try a game out for a little bit. Like Ghost of Tsushima. I'll try out maybe a little bit of God of War. I'm not going to go super crazy on that one. And then after that, maybe Days Gone for just a little bit. I'm actually pretty close to my New Game Plus playthrough, so I might see what that looks like. Yeah. That's what I do, man.
Yeah. I want to finish Ghost, but I think with Demon Souls,
ain't happening.
And Sackboy, yeah. So you're all Spider-Man. I'm all Demon Souls. So we got it covered anyway. I'm not getting Godfall.
That's going to be one of them that's kind of a toss-up for me.
Yeah, to me that feels like, I don't know. I've got this sinking feeling that's going to be a game that's $20 like 2 months later.
Right.
So we'll see. Plus, we now know that it's only a 6-month exclusive on PS5. So who knows what that looks like in April, on Series X, and if they add expansions or have a bunch of updates to their gameplay systems and everything else. So we'll see.
Yeah. It definitely, overall, it feels like I said before, it just feels like such a weird generation, going into. It's not like where you've got like even 5 or 6 games where you can go, oh, we got to try all these out. You have them all at launch, and it's just really, really different. So I'm still excited, but I'm also, it feels like I said before, a mid-gen refresh almost. And I think that is mostly due to the fact that there was actually a mid-gen refresh last time, which is weird. Like if they had just kept like the S and like the regular base PlayStation,
Yeah.
and we were coming at it, from those, this would be insane and people would be going nuts. But we didn't. We had the Pro, we had the X. And so now it's like, I want to see what they can do.
I was going to say, I just personal opinion, because I don't know either, but I think that people are going to be more surprised at the improvements than
I hope so.
Realize. I think so. Because it is true.
I want to be.
1X and the Pro were mid-gen refreshes, and they were still held back in a lot of ways by all kinds of dated hardware. This is a true next gen, and I think once we see it in person and get used to the quality of life stuff, there's going to be no going back. And I've heard that from several people who have these.
Yeah, you've seen that. Especially a lot of the quality of life stuff, the load times and stuff like that. Yeah, that kind of stuff, 100%. For what we see on the games, that's going to be left to when we get it in our hands.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. I want to see what does Valhalla run like.
Yeah,
on this thing. I'm excited. I mean, I'm ready to go. I've got time off. I'm not doing anything. I've got infinite time off actually. So it's it's fine. I'm good. I'm relaxing. I'm getting fat.
Yeah, I've got to get prepared. So for Xbox, I've got I had Valhalla coming. Obviously, have that now. Luckily, thanks to Ubisoft. Gonna be playing Legion. Picking up Falconeer as well. Gonna be playing Tactics, continuing that. I didn't even look, and I don't know if anyone in chat knows. I'm surprised I don't know this off the top of my head. But is Tactics cross progression? Am I going to be able to pick up my PC game on the console?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. If anyone knows that in the chat, let us know, because I honestly don't know. I hadn't thought about it. But yeah, going back and playing Gears 5 is a must. I also saw Forza Horizon 4 is supposedly bonkers with the next-gen update, and including they're adding a no one will know what the hell I'm talking about, but they're adding a Singer Porsche next week. There's a partnership with a company called Singer. They make these really expensive custom Porsches, and they're adding that car, one of those cars, to Horizon next week. And I was like, between what I've seen out of the next-gen patch and adding that car, I'm all back in on Forza. I'm definitely going to be playing that a little bit too. And then PS5 doing the Demon Souls, and obviously I'll play Bug Snacks. And I'm really looking forward to Sackboy. I'm surprised to hear you're getting that one. I didn't think you were going to.
Yeah, it looks so good. Like I've never been a huge platformer guy, but I had a lot of fun with Crash. Still playing through that a little bit here and there. But it looks really, really interesting to me. Plus, being able to play as Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, they pretty much sold it for me. Digital Deluxe Edition, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, it looks really fun. And
you could buy the collector's edition and get the plush I don't need a plush. Like a real man.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you, real man.
Keep looking.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, man. I'm pumped. I've got the 6 a.m. appointment on Tuesday. I already my stepson, I think, is going to wake up with me at 5 a.m. and we're going to head up there together because he's getting Series X. Giving him one of the 19 I pre-ordered as well. Yeah, excited. I've actually had several people texting me this week, hey, you got any more Series X's? Like, damn, man, I'm not your personal shopper. Like, what's going on?
I do, for $1,000.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a great week. The sad news is I'm still working Monday and Tuesday before I go on vacation. I'm gonna be busy as hell those days. So I'm gonna have to be kind of in and out, but anyway,
I'm going, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm going to shut off my phone for, like, starting Tuesday. I will send everybody a goodbye message just in case my phone doesn't ever come back on and I die or something. So that's it. Like, I'm gone. I'm gone for the rest of the week until Bitcast next week. That's it. I want time away from all the nonsense, anything. I want to focus, just enjoy myself, because we don't do that enough because we're always in the middle of stuff, and there's always stuff happening. I don't want any news. All I need somebody to do is to tell me if something starts blowing up, either the Series X or the PS5, then let me know. I'll check my messages. Yeah. My house phone. I'll check my messages once a day and then just send me like an emoji, like explosion emoji, and I'll
Okay.
be like, and then with whatever console it is, so I know to shut it off.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll do.
You'll probably just end up getting the walking eggplant emoji and or GIF, and you'll be done. We're good.
Yeah, that's good.
And by the way, Elu is right. We need a new Rayman game. But sadly, Michael Ansel, who makes those games, has completely left the gaming industry. So that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh.
Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. He's like, he got Instagram famous for like cooking or traveling or something, and he just got up and left.
Just rolled with it, huh?
So we're done. So
do your thing, Michael. I thought you were going to say he died, and I was like, oh man, this is going to get really stupid.
No, he's out,
in a second.
He's out there.
Good.
All right. So that's next gen. The only other thing that is launching, which was kind of a funny one this week for next gen, is Apple TV, of all things, is launching on Xbox. Cue the irony. On November 10th as well, on Tuesday. I think it's $4.99 a month, and it can integrate with other applications as well. So I think like you can get into Apple TV and then add on HBO, just like Hulu does and some of these other services. So kind of interesting. I have less than zero interest in this, but I thought I'd mention it.
Thanks. That's all I got for Apple. They can suck a dick.
And of course, the running joke was, is Xbox making Apple certify every single show and episode, to make sure it can be on there? And
it should.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, going back to the whole xCloud thing, I think it will get worked out eventually. They just got to figure out how to split up the billions of dollars. That's all it is. So,
I mean, I still don't understand that whole thing. I don't understand it. You don't
have to. You just say
nobody. The worst thing is like nobody. It's linked to your Microsoft account.
Yes.
Right. So basically, you're worried about like microtransactions that you might buy through the game on your phone. That would work if it were Candy Crush or Clash of Clans or whatever it is, where people buy that kind of stuff all the time. But nobody's going to buy unless you're me, some kind of coins for Valhalla on their phone. They're just not going to do it. The money's not there for Apple to take. I don't really think they're not going to just automatically give them 1% of all their subscription services to the entire company. That'd be ridiculous. Where's the money even come from? Why are they so worried about it? It makes sense.
Apparently Apple's hard up for money. So
yeah, that must be it. God, I hate Apple. Man.
I know, it's frustrating. AP Cool J, man, thanks. Appreciate the support, man.
Yeah.
So before we're going to get to Valhalla, because I know we want to touch on that. We're both playing it, and both kind of enjoying it. And I did a stream of it yesterday. But just before we get there, I just want to touch on Nintendo's absurd fiscal results. I know we talked about these briefly on Mike's show, sorry. But it's nuts. And I want to put this in perspective for some people. Now, there's really nothing big to report out of Nintendo beyond the fiscal results. But here you go. So they sold in the last quarter, and this is the quarter ending September 30th. So up until October, they sold nearly 7 million more Switches in the quarter, 6.85 million, which now puts them at 68.3 million Switches sold lifetime. And remember, this is a console that launched in 2017. So it's only just been over 3 years or 3.5 years. They're at 68 million, which is faster than the PS4. And the PS4, as we know, is the second or third best-selling console of all time, right? So if the Switch continues this pace, especially if they just kind of modify it like they did with the 3DS, right, where they say the Switch Pro eventually comes and that counts as Switch sales, very likely the Switch will end up being one of the greatest-selling consoles of all time. Animal Crossing has sold 26 million units now in 6 months. Which is nutty. So to put that in perspective, if you're not aware, Animal Crossing on the Switch has sold more as an exclusive than any game on the PS4 or Xbox. And the PS4 and Xbox have been out for 7.5 years, or over 7 years, coming up on 7 years. It's absurd. And that's the third title, by the way, on the Switch that has now sold over 20 million units. In fact, Mario Kart Deluxe is about to be at 30 million, which was a Wii U game, may I remind you. And Mario 3D All-Stars, which we knew the whole debacle, we won't get into with that. Doesn't matter, right? $60, bad port in a way. still plays in, doesn't even support widescreen properly on Mario 64. Wasn't updated. Doesn't matter. Sold 5.2 million units in 2 weeks.
I can't even with these guys. My God.
So it's they're just it's almost unfathomable, right? Because think of all the press right now, all the exposure, everything going on with Xbox and PlayStation. They own the media in terms of what's happening. And yet the Switch is just sitting over here in a corner just laughing it up. They're just selling bonkers.
They get by on, 1 or 2 games a year and name recognition. That's basically what it is. Everybody was this Nintendo. Like if you had like a, 70-year-old person walk through my door and go, "Oh, is that your Nintendo?" Pointing straight at my Xbox.
They'll do it.
They'll still do it. I mean, that's it. That's what people know and how they know this stuff, man. So and then plus they keep putting out games that really appeal to a huge portion. You look at Animal Crossing. I have never played it. I bought it because my kids wanted it. And they. It's just a different generation for me. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, but also everybody loves it, right? Like even people our age, they love the game. It's just, and they know that. Nintendo knows that. They don't have to put out exclusive, third person over the shoulder games, Yeah, Sarko. See, there you go.
Perfect example.
Yeah. Looks like my shirt.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And think about the attach rate here. That's what I always find interesting about Nintendo IPs, right? Their attach rate for how many the percentage of Switch owners that they get to buy their big games, whether it be Mario, Zelda, Smash Brothers, etc., right? Animal Crossing. It's just it's monstrous. Like Sony and Xbox would absolutely kill to see attach rates like Nintendo gets. I mean, they're not even close. Spider-Man is the best. We've talked about this, right? Spider-Man's the best-selling exclusive on the PS4, and it's at an attach rate. What was it at?
Like 15 million, maybe.
Yes,
maybe
15, 17 million, whatever. So let's say 17, right? So your attach rate is still what 13%, something like that. Whereas Animal Crossing's attach rate is like 40.
That's insane, man.
It's nuts.
Yep. That's all you need, and people will play it forever because it's got longevity. It's got, it just keeps changing. And you don't even have to really, it's like a game as a service, but you don't really have to put in the work for it. All you got to do is update a couple things every once in a while. Hey, it's Halloween. We're going to put some things in here. Yeah. It's Christmas time, and people will go nuts over it, and they know that. Yeah. And what boggles my mind is that there's nothing, like you said, comparable on Xbox or PlayStation. This isn't like a game that would take 30 years to develop. It's a very, very simple game. I mean, but it does what it does really, really well. So I mean, you could, and I think they try. They try to get those kind of games, as a service in there, but it's just there's so much nostalgia as well with Animal Crossing. People love it forever. Yep. So I guess breaking in a new IP would be kind of difficult, but once you do, and you find something that's similar to this, like Bugsnax, so you never know what's going to happen. See what happens.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So I wanted to mention it. I mean, I feel bad almost sometimes, right? Because I don't play my Switch a ton. I hardly play it at all. But there's nothing really coming out of Nintendo that is here for us to talk about. And yet we're talking about their fiscal results being just nuts. It's anyway. So let's get to some Valhalla, man. We started playing it. I've got, I don't know where you're at. I've got about 6-7 hours into it now. I am doing my typical explore everything. And so have I lost Dan? Yeah, I've lost Dan. It's gonna be a one-man show. I'm gonna have to go Luke in here in a second. Or some of you in chat are going to have to jump in and join me. Dan's frozen in time. So I will talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, apparently, until Dan rejoins us. He's back. I think. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay. Moving on. Really liking Valhalla. So I am still in the early part of the game, which is in Norway, because I'm exploring all the areas. And so, it's just the way I want to play it. Luckily, I'm not reviewing this one. Dan is for us. And so what that allows me to do is take my time like I normally would with this game. This, outside of Cyberpunk, is my big game for the fall. And so I'm definitely going to be putting in a lot of time into the game. So early impressions for you guys looking forward to it this week are, and by the way, I did stream it yesterday for a little while. So the VOD is up if you want to check that out. But early impressions are strong so far. I'm playing it on the One X. I will say performance is not the best. There are frame rate drops, pretty consistent frame rate drops. And there is screen tearing and, just other kind of hiccups here and there that feel really odd. So, but outside of that, the game feels really good, especially if you were a fan of Odyssey and, you liked Origins and Odyssey. You'll be right at home here. So a few things I like so far are that it is, Dan keeps trying to come back.
Gee, man, Christmas, I don't know what's going on.
You gonna be all right over there?
I'm just checking my internet over here. I'm in sexy speeds. I don't know what the hell's happening.
No worries. So talking Valhalla, I was saying that, you feel right at home if you're an Origins or Odyssey fan here. It feels similar. I already talked about performance on the One X being a little rough right now, and that's even with the day one patch. So just to be clear, the day one patch released yesterday, and so we're already playing on that, but there's still screen tearing and frame rate hiccups. But things I really like is the combat feels kind of weighty. It definitely feels more attuned to what you would expect in this environment. It's very gory. The executions are absolutely incredible. I love them. And there's definitely a lot of depth to the world and things you can find. I would say contrast, Legion had that Ubisofty feel a little bit. I think they did a better job than some other games. This goes right back to there's a million things you can find on the map. There's markers everywhere. So it's going to be really a game of how much time you want to put in versus how much you want to accomplish. Because I know Dan and I were talking just in the opening area. I haven't even gotten to England yet. But just in the opening area, I've already spent, like I said, about 7+ hours. And I found multiple things that Dan and I were talking he didn't find because he's just moving a little faster through it as he's doing the review for us right now. So, but overall, I'm impressed. I am enjoying it. I think there's some cool call outs to some older Assassin's Creed games. And I like the aesthetic. The character models and the voice acting and Ivor so far I really enjoy as well. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I don't know about you. It was really weird getting to your hometown and seeing Cassandra, but in Viking.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I get it. It's kind of funny. I know they showed it in a video, but when you're playing and it happens, you're kind of looking at her because I was so attached to Cassandra from Odyssey. Yeah. It was weird to see her like, you're not supposed to be here. This is, a couple centuries.
Or is she?
Yeah,
I have no idea. Yeah. It's. I agree with you on most things. I think so far I haven't seen a ton of like different animations. You get, and that's a really fun part of it, which sounds super morbid, but it when you do some of these executions and stuff, it's really kind of based on whatever weapon they were using at the point.
Yeah.
So it's very Ubisofty. It's very Assassin's Creedy. If you, like you said, if you liked Odyssey, I think you're gonna probably like this. Now, if you like the Norse mythology, then you're probably gonna love this game. But there are definitely some issues, that I'm running into. It's mostly, like you said, small technical hiccups, and it's nothing is that I've seen so far has said, oh, this is the next iteration of Assassin's Creed. This is the next step in the evolution. It's basically an additional step. Maybe they went sideways. They didn't go backwards, so it's so far I'm having just as much fun as I did with Odyssey. But it just seems like Odyssey, right now, maybe it's just the setting and stuff. It seems a little bit more drab to me. It seems a little bit more, it's not as like bright and
Oh, of course.
things are happening, and it's, no offense, England, or Norway, no offense. This. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying where the setting's a little bit. It's just a little bit not. It's not as bright, I guess. It's not as bustling, I guess is a good word to use, because a lot of stuff just kind of sits there, and I'm really curious to see what it's going to look like on the Series X.
Yeah,
that's the biggest part for me. I'm enjoying it for sure. I think they could have done a little bit more up until this point, but there are a lot of new mechanics. There's a lot of new. They brought back some stuff from like Black Flag and some other games, as far as like collectibles, and you will not, if you need one game to get you through here until Cyberpunk, this will do it, and then probably more on top of that.
It's going to be a huge game.
It's going to be humongous.
Right? We have to caveat our impressions that we're still early.
Yeah, it's super early.
For weeks. So, like, go ahead.
I don't know. If I've even opened up half of the new mechanics yet.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if you watch, because you said you didn't watch that Xbox video they posted yesterday either, which was.
I wanted to watch it after we're done.
Yeah, it's not like a minute video. It's like 7 minutes. It's with the producer. But he shows a lot of the new things. Once you get to England and really start setting up your settlement and the things you can do, it looks to be quite a bit deeper than, have some more stuff that we didn't see in Odyssey. But one thing I was telling Dan for the listeners is, if you watch that video, so I've been playing obviously on the One X, but I watched that video, which in 4K 60 on the same place I play, and the smoothness that you saw out of the gameplay that was captured on the Series X looks night and day over what I'm playing right now. And you can actually see it. If you watch my stream from yesterday, you can actually see it in real time. You can see the screen tearing, and you can see the frame rate drop and some of the movement issues. So I'm really, really interested to see what the Series X does for the game. And PS5, for PlayStation players, of course. But I am enjoying it. It's exactly what I expected. I think it's going to be, I knew it was going to be a massive game. I didn't realize, I don't think, that the opening area before even getting to England was going to be like 10 hours plus for me. It's like White Orchard from Witcher 3. It's the same. It's very similar. It's
humongous. And then you can, that's one of the good things about the game. It's always been one of those things. And I normally play it the same way you would, if I weren't doing the review, maybe I'd take my time a little bit more. And I might still, we made it. I'm not going to hit like the embargo date or anything. So, but I want to get the most out of it. I want to give it a fair, run, and I want to do as much as I can. I want to test out all the, different things that it has to offer. You were talking about combat a little bit ago, and it's very, very similar to the last one. It's a little bit it's a little different for me with like the problem I was having at first initially, and still a little bit, was that I was playing Legion. We both kind of talked about that.
Very different from Legion. Yeah.
Whoa. Like the controls alone, you have to kind of relearn everything. But once you do, you're fine, and still learning, you've got your heavy light attacks, you got your block, your parry, whatever it is. There's still a lot more stuff to do. There's a lot more, I barely unlocked anything as far as
the skill tree keeps going and going.
Yeah, the skill tree is super interesting. Yeah. It just, you open something up, and next thing you know, like, oh, there's a whole nother branch that you didn't even know about because you can't even see it.
Yeah, it just shows you that it will continue, right? There's a line showing that it will continue. And I don't know about you, so I've been playing kind of female leads in a bunch of the games recently. I played Cassandra in Odyssey, so this time I went with the male Ivor. And typically I would play stealthy, but after coming off of Legion, I was like, you know what, Vikings, let's go male, let's go full brute force. So I'm going like the strength path, with the heavy attacks, the stomps. I'm going shield, bashing, and all that stuff. So I'm really enjoying that so far.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing too. I would normally play it stealthy, but it hasn't, and up to this point, it really hasn't lent itself to that yet.
No, not yet.
Where so maybe later in the game it does that, but as of right now, it's there's really no point, to go in stealthy in most situations. And you just as well go out there.
Fun. Like, I love doing the execution.
Oh, it's super good.
I don't even want to just end it. And by the way, it just came up because there's actually an option in the game. You can turn on one-hit kills. Did you see that?
No.
You can turn on an option for one-hit kills, and it literally warns you, like, this is not how the game is meant to be played. But if you're just someone who's trying to experience the game and get through it quickly and kill everybody, I guess you could do that.
But not for you, though. Just
no, come on now.
No.
I'm not going to play
No, I know. I meant like, I thought it was like a super, for both sides. It's just you can turn it on for the enemies.
Oh, I see.
You won't get hit one hit.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, not a difficulty. It's completely different from that.
That's weird.
But I do like, I don't know if you went through all the options. The options for accessibility and the UI and the interface are hugely extensive. You can customize it however you see fit. So I'm playing with a lot of the HUD elements off because I really want to kind of get engrossed in the world, more similar like RDR or something. But if you really want it to be Ubisofty, where everything's lit up and your compass and it shows you where everything is, you can do that too. Yeah. We got a bunch of comments I want to touch on. So Ace, Gaming Gentleman, what's up, guys? Good to see you. Thank you. Well, I had one right here. So Elu called out your review, Dan. 7.8 stuff just kind of sits there. Nailed it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it right now. Yeah.
Gaming Gentleman, did I order the collector's edition of Valhalla? I did not. It's one of the few I didn't. Because
one of the two.
One of the one
that
I didn't. And the reason why is I just didn't like the look of the statue. It's that simple. The Legion Collector's Edition is incredible. The skull is one of the best collectibles, one of my favorite ones recently, but didn't really care for the Valhalla one too much. Ace apparently missed the earlier part of the show.
Yeah.
Positive reviews. Come on.
Yeah. The banging.
The banging turn-based. God, we covered Ace. I keep telling him that he is going to buy it. He doesn't realize it yet. He's going to buy it.
No, it's not happening. Where do all these turn-based guys come from all of a sudden, man? Nobody plays turn-based games.
You haven't played it. It could be good, man.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying that it's not Yakuza. That's what I'm saying.
And Walt says, "What's up, Walt?" He says, "I can see people choosing that option. Yeah, the single playthrough for sure. Yeah, you can definitely see that. But one thing I like, there's multiple difficulty options. There's multiple kind of exploring options. They really customize the game however you want to play it, which I like.
Yeah, it's not just like easy, medium, hard. There's 3 different choices to make before you even start. Based on your play style. There's tons of choices. So it's super nice.
One thing I always experiment with, because I'm weird, we know this. I'm a lefty, so the thing that annoys me in video games all the time, drives me nuts, is that they make every character right-handed all the time. Mm-hmm. It drives me nuts, right? So the first thing I try to do is, instead of having axe, shield, can I switch them? Can I have my axe in my left hand like I would, shield here, and you can, which is really cool. And then it actually moves to your left bumper to attack. So that's pretty cool. But it did say something like your right hand is your primary, right? And so I think there's attack bonuses and other things that come with that. But you can even put a shield in your main hand and make shield attacks your main attack. Like you could smack people and bash them, and it's really cool.
Well, the AI does it too. It's freaking hilarious.
Dude, the enemies will throw your shield at you.
Like they'll grab a weapon off the ground that somebody dropped and they will chuck it at you. And you're like, where did that come from? That's the only issue I've had so far, is like there's times where you get into some of these combat situations and there are like 20 guys and they don't let up.
No,
it can be really tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I died a few times.
Oh, I've died a few times. I got executed on stream yesterday. I took on a battle with like 4 guys and I hit the wrong button, and he had 2 axes in my face and destroyed me. I mean, it was over. And I'm playing on the standard, the medium difficulty in terms of combat difficulty.
I think that's where I'm at too, surprisingly.
For now. The one thing that was interesting this morning I got really excited for, and I texted you about it, was in part of the map in the early area, I found an icon with a Viking helmet and 2 axes. And I was like, okay, what is this? And you go in and you find a guy in there. And basically you talk to him. It's no spoilers here, but essentially it acts almost like a Valkyrie fight from God of War.
So essentially, like level on that one.
Yeah, so you agree to fight him, and as soon as you do, his health bar comes up like a Dark Souls boss, top of the screen, or Jedi Fallen Order, big ass health bar. He wrecked me. It was like watching Mike Tyson fight a child. It was unbelievable how bad he killed me. And I was like, I'm going to try again. And I think I eventually got him down after 3 tries to about 5% off, not 5% left, 5% off of his health. And I'm like, okay, this is way too strong for me. So I'll revisit him later. But if those are spread throughout the world, I'm going to be really excited because I love that stuff. It's like boss fights in that you can play whenever you want.
Yeah, I ran up against somebody similar, but they weren't in the cave. They had in the last game, I can't remember what they called it, but they had that that group of the other assassins that would come looking for you. And you hear the horn blow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they've got kind of the same thing going on. I didn't realize what it was, and it's like a knight shield, I think, or a knight's helmet. And I was like, well, let's go see what this is. Maybe it's some armor. No,
so that's in England, right?
Yeah, that's in England. Yeah, and I didn't even see him coming. Like I was looking for the thing, and then he came flying out of nowhere, like running full speed at me, knocked me on my ass, took about half of my health down, and then finished me off shortly after. I was like, well, not going there again. So.
See, I like that though. That's the RPG element, right? That's like, okay, I can't conquer this right now. I'm going to have to get stronger, and I'll come back to it. So I like that. It's just a neat aspect, and they have the legendary hunts again. Even in the opening area, there's a legendary hunt that you can fight. Took me 3 tries this morning because, God, man, you can get hurt pretty quickly. But I did take it down, and you get some legendary, item and some other stuff. So it's really cool so far. One other thing I don't know if you noticed too is you can turn off and on the visibility of any of your armor pieces. So your shield, cloak, armor, hood, gloves, etc. And so if you want to run around like a Viking with tattoos all over you that's literally just wearing a loincloth, which is probably where I'm going to head eventually, you can do that. And I showed that on my stream yesterday. So really cool.
Yeah, they had something like that. I mean, you can basically WYSIWYG everything, if you wanted to.
Hold on. Slow down. What the hell did you just say?
Like what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like you could, like you can, not no WYSIWYG. That's the wrong. Transmorg stuff.
Yeah, Transmorg Diablo. I've never heard WYSIWYG in my entire life.
WYSIWYG was that actually? That's an old Warhammer 40K thing. Like when you played with miniatures.
Yeah.
Like whatever they were holding, that's what they had. So we always call the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So I was thinking of Transmorg. I get those mixed up sometimes.
Yeah.
So but you can Transmorg everything, right? So you can look however you want to.
No, Transmorg is where you can say you have a legendary axe you love, right? But you don't like the look of it. You keep the axe, but you can make it look like anything else. In this game, you can just make it either show up or not show up.
Well, maybe I haven't gotten that far yet, but I know you could do that in Odyssey. You could wear whatever armor you wanted to, and you can make it look like whatever armor you own.
That's transmorging. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far to know if this game does that or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can, but I think you have to open up something in a settlement or something. Okay. So I haven't gotten, but I haven't gotten that far either. So I just was able to unlock like the boat stuff, where I can make my boat look like, whatever.
Yeah, you're ahead of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't ever say WYSIWYG again. I don't know what that
WYSIWYG.
That's great. But yeah, loving it. Can't wait to play it more.
Right after this.
Yeah, you going back in after this?
Oh yeah.
I wish I had more time today to do that. But anyway, anything you want to know about it, obviously you can always reach out to us. Like I said, the review embargo, I believe, is Monday like early morning, like 5-6 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
You'll see the reviews posted. When you wake up on Monday, the reviews will be live. So we'll see. So anyway, that's Valhalla. So what else you been playing, man?
That and Legion, basically.
Yeah.
Finished it up finally. It was good.
You're not as high on it as I was.
No, not even close. But but it's just different, So it was, I think it was definitely better than the first one, which I barely played. And I liked it. It actually kept me going much longer than the second one did. Because the second one, that was rough for me. I mean, it was hard to get into. And, I saw that initially with this one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, no, this is obviously done much, much better. So, they did a good job with certain things. I had a lot of, visual issues, mostly pop-ins and stuff, but, it got kind of boring, to be honest with you. after a while, because and we kind of talked back and forth about this. It's got that illusion of freedom for me. Like, you can do all this stuff, right? You can do it several different ways, but there's no reason to.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It really puts it puts it on the player to have to decide, which is good, but sometimes it's just like, well, why would I do that when I can literally just jump on this giant cargo drone and just fly over it?
Cargo for the win.
Yeah, it's the simplest way to do it. Or I'm going to go in John Wick it, which was also fun once I got used to the controls. Yeah, it's hilarious. So, and then there's that mix up. You can kind of mix them two together. So it's basically 3 ways I did stuff. But I see people complaining about, like, no main story, no protagonist. But to your point, I read your review. I think you're right. You can make that 1 or 2 people. You can play with just one person the entire time if you want to.
I play most of the time with 2 people, and I love them both. Like my characters. Yeah,
and I understand that. Yeah, and that's. But the part of the part of that game is that it pushes is that you can recruit all these people.
Yep.
And that's really, it's kind of counterintuitive when you want to. It's like, well, I'm going to get this guy. I got a video game guy. I got a construction.
Uh-oh. Dan's having, for our listeners who aren't watching, Dan's having some issues today. So I think where he was going, I'm going to go ahead and just continue his statement here. Where he was going is, you can recruit all these different people, but there's no necessity for you to use them. You can pretty much use whoever you want. The one thing I will say is there is benefit in recruiting people that are specific to different places, right? So there's construction workers can go into construction zones, and Albion, which is the big company, you can go in there without being noticed, which is really fun too. So I've talked a lot about Legion. My review is up. If it's a game that you are still thinking about, I highly recommend it. But I know a lot of people I've spoken to are really enjoying it as well. But I also know that people like Dan, they really like the game, but they're not as high on it as I was. So, but I am really looking forward to checking out the to Elo. Really looking forward to checking out the the Series X patch that's coming. In fact, they said it's coming Monday, like I said, so it'll definitely be out by the time you get the Series X in your hands, and checking that out as well. So it's gonna be a fun week. I didn't realize I was doing a solo show today. This has turned into definitely an interesting event. But we'll keep it going. So you guys can tell me in chat what you're playing and if there's anything interesting you want me to mention. But I also started playing, I mentioned this last week, but playing Little Hope, the new Dark Pictures anthology game. And so Dan's back.
I'm about to kick somebody's butt. So I need to measure how far away it is from my router to this. You know what the problem is? I've got a mesh network, and I think sometimes these things jump from point to point.
Okay.
So I either need to get a new one.
Telling you, the one I set up, 2-3 weeks ago now, has been absolutely flawless. It's incredible.
I've never had a problem with it until like just recently. So I'm just going to get a 20-foot long cord to run over to the router just to plug it in every week.
So I was trying to lead the conversation and asking people what they're playing.
Nice.
It's up to 120 hours in Dragon Age Inquisition. That's a lot. I had a lot of hours in that game. I didn't have that many. But
I don't know what I had in it, but I played through it twice. So
it's an awesome game.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you enjoyed so much. And hopefully the new system launches go smoothly as this Bitcast.
Yep.
And we're rocking and rolling. We are rocking and rolling.
Yep.
So I was just starting to talk about Little Hope. I've played a little more of that. Wife and I both agree that it's definitely better than Man of Medan. So if you were, if you're one of those people who loved Until Dawn, like many of us did, and Man of Medan kind of turned you off, because it was lackluster, I am enjoying Little Hope better. We're not super far into it, but it's been fun so far. So looking forward to playing that more. But yeah, man, it's been Legion all week. Little Hope with my wife, and then and now Valhalla, which we were lucky enough to get early too. So that's what I've been up to.
That's pretty much it for me too.
You playing Little Hope too?
No.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
No.
Kind of did you get? I got Asus. I'm a big fan of Asus. I'm a network guy. Asus has always treated me well. And I got their high end one, the AC X. I was looking around because I thought I had the box right here somewhere. Whatever the highest ASUS mesh network one is, the 6800X, ACX, something like that. Look it up.
How much was that thing?
500.
Okay.
For two, you get two, and then you can add additional access points for 250 each if you want to. But
Gotcha.
you've been in my house. We 3-story house, big decent sized house, about 4,000 square feet, and I've got two, and it's flawless, man. I can get this PC here gets nearly 900 down. I can lay in my bedroom on my phone and get 400 and 500 down on my phone, so it's flawless.
That's the problem I'm having right now, because it's. I mean, not to get in a crazy rant here, but it's when something works for so long and then just decides to go shit itself during like the most important time of the week, it just drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely nuts.
Frustrating.
So
and ours is the one I got is Wi-Fi 6 too, so I'm kind of future proofed. But Wi-Fi 6 is a huge plus as well. If you're looking into doing a mesh network system and you have the means, definitely go with Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Google because their next iteration of their router is going to be Wi-Fi 6. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm hoping.
You get benefits even if like your devices don't support Wi-Fi 6, right? There's still benefits to Wi-Fi 6. There's codecs built into it that basically separate traffic better than Wi-Fi 5. So anyway, we could get into it, but not going to go crazy.
No, I have 27 devices connected to my damn.
Yeah. Now the reason I did mine, because my stepson's here now too, and he's working from home. He plays Xbox, he plays PC, he's got his phone device. You know what I mean? It's like nowadays, just family houses it's endless. There's so many devices, way more than you would ever think if you try to add it up.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, because you've got like my thermostat, my printer, Fire Stick. There's all kinds of things. But anyway, so you playing anything else at all right now?
Nope. That's it. And pretty much going to be Valhalla from here on out.
Yeah. So look for Dan's Valhalla review. What you think? No timeline, but sometime,
January.
Sometime probably a little after launch of the next gen consoles. We'll see. So
yeah, probably I would say late next week.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So but despite you leaving me hanging a few times, it's been a fun show. I think I want to talk about some things we got upcoming. So if you missed it, Carl's article on basically kind of a technical deep dive on the Series X and the PlayStation 5 has been up. Got a lot of positive feedback on it, and a lot of views, a lot of people checking it out. So if you want better information around kind of the core hardware of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X without any of the fanboy nonsense, just breaking things down how they actually function in reality, check that article out. It's worth it. Homepage of the site. We've got Valhalla streams and reviews. We talked a lot about that already. Next week, Bitcast is going to be a special episode post-launch, obviously, of the consoles. We're going to have Luke from XEP, Xbox Expansion Pass, and we're going to have Joseph from PlayStation Trophy Room. And we're going to do a big kind of, just a big episode of celebrating the launch of the new consoles and really talking through everything we're loving about them. Hopefully nothing we're hating. And then, stay tuned for some other stuff during this week as well. So it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm pumped.
Should be fun, man.
Yeah. So thank you, Chad, as always, man. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you coming out, despite Dan and I just shooting the shit over here, and Dan only doing that 42% of the time.
Yep. It's all Google. It's all Google.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a good week. Thank you. That was Bitcast episode 130. Get pumped for next gen. It is here. We will see you next week, and we'll celebrate. So peace. Don't have the outro ready. Never have.
Why would you? I mean, it's not even a thing now.
I know.
I mean, it's
too late.
Now we just yeah. Why? No, it's not too late. You now get the outro ready.
Do it. The outro is coming. Build up anticipation.
Yeah, we're making it super awesome. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it, man.
Do it. All right. Peace.